In this video, we're going to be discussing functions. What are functions? I have a real-world example here, and I want to describe or introduce what functions are in context of real-world situations. So say you go to an ice cream shop, and here, in our first menu, menu 1, we're giving the flavor and the price. For vanilla, it's $1.25. For chocolate, it's $1.50. For strawberry, it's $1.75. And for mint, it's $1.30. Now this menu makes perfect sense, and we're going to call this menu a function because it works. Every flavor has its own specific price. Now let's take a look at our second menu. Say, in this case, I have vanilla, it's $1.25, chocolate is $1.50, strawberry is $1.75, and vanilla is $1.30. Now here's the issue. It would seem like vanilla shows up twice, and it has two separate prices. This is not a function. It does not make sense. Each flavor should have its own specific price. So we would categorize the flavor as my x value and the price as my y value. Every flavor corresponds to a specific price in my first menu, making it a function. In other words, the flavor, or the domain, does not repeat itself. Unlike number 2's menu, where vanilla shows up twice, therefore making it not a function. So let's get into in relations to the domain and the range. So when it comes to domain, we are specifically looking at our x values. And so if we have a coordinate point, x, y, x would represent our domain. Next is our range. Our range represents our y values. So we would correspond y, or anything in the second coordinate point, as my range. So say, for example, we're given a relation, and a relation is just a set of points. So say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would characterize our domain to be everything in my x coordinate. So it would be 1, 3, and 5. My range would represent everything in my y coordinate. So 2, 4, and 6. When we are trying to determine if a relation is a function, you have to identify whether or not there are any values in the domain that repeat. If they do not repeat in the domain, then it is considered a function. In this case, this relation is a function because all my domains are different from one another. Let's go over another example. Say, for example, we have the relation of another example where I'm given the relation 1, 2, 3, 2, and 2, 2. Now, let's identify if this relation is a function. My domain, again, are my x values, 1, 3, and 2. So my range would be my y values, 2, 2, and 2. Notice that everything in my domain does not repeat, but my range does. This is still considered a relation, because relation is specifically for the domain. So because there's nothing repeats, this is a relation. So let's go ahead and stop there, and we will continue on in the next video.